Kwaso, who was the flag bearer, NPP 2023 as a presidential candidate. So yes, one would think he's doing all of this now. Is it that there's just that much money to put around, or is there some kind of assurance that he has? Some kind of assurance that he is going to emerge as a presidential candidate, that is on the one hand, or, that's one battle, one uphill battle that he would have to face. But there is also the conversation around the matter of, what's it called now? The matter of the ADC, right? Even showing up on the ballot papers come 2027. You would think also, okay, what is the role? If we're looking at the fact that he has to go to the international community, the U.S. lawmakers and all of that to try and clean up his image, counter incumbent narratives and all of that, you would think, okay, he has some kind of assurance. Why is he spending all of this money? Is there anything being done internally as well to do this, or does he really just believe that he's able to manage his reputation in front of the U.S. lawmakers or an international community at large, that he will definitely be getting the ticket come 2027? Lots of questions to ask there. But yes, strengthening his reputation, you would think, okay, you want to go and do that at the U.S., if you have to have meetings, you're going to have meetings with the people at the top of the ladder, not middlemen. So, okay, in a way, that can explain that. Countering one-sided narratives from the current Nigerian administration. I'm thinking the Nigerian administration went ahead of him on this one with a $9 million lobbying conversation that they had. But that one was for the narratives around Christian genocide in Nigeria. So what one-sided narrative will he be trying to counter on his own end now from the current Nigerian administration? I mean, the administration and some of its spokespeople have been known to go heavy on anybody who is speaking in terms of opposition. I'm talking about in terms of their responses. You see them coming out, guns blazing, trying to downplay their role, in the politics of the nation and all of that. But I haven't really seen anything recently as far as Atiku is concerned. So it will be interesting to see what one-sided narrative he's looking to counter there. And then also looking at advancing his leadership vision to an international audience. What is being done to advance your leadership vision, for example, to members of, first of all, the party where you're trying to get a ticket, and also to Nigerians? But at the end of the day, yes, it may gain him some leverage. It remains to be seen if it will. But then some analysts have had interesting questions to ask, such as, really and truly, how effective are these lobbying deals? Are these really key movers on the chessboard of Nigerian politics, or is it just money that is being spent when it could have been put to better use in other areas? Yes, it may open doors in Washington, but will it change U.S. foreign policy overnight as far as Nigeria is concerned, or as far as individuals within Nigeria is concerned? What really is the goal of this? If you're looking at the impact it will have on the Nigerian audience, for example, yes, by the time this money gets him into certain doors, will the photos of him in Washington improve Nigerians' perception of him? Will it actually sway undecided party delegates and some of the electorate in their choice of a candidate? These are the questions as to, why this money may have been spent. But yes, some analysts say a major part of the effectiveness of this $1.2 million lobbying deal is a matter of defense. Apparently, he may be attempting to neutralize the government's own $9 million lobbying efforts, ensuring that the U.S. doesn't only hear pro-government side of the story regarding Nigeria's current economic and security challenges. These are some of the things that some of the experts have said when it comes to these things. But the boiling point question will be, if a candidate appears too reliant on Western PR, can it backfire? Opponents often frame these deals as selling out or wasting billions of naira on foreigners while Nigerians suffer. What are your thoughts on this particular move by Atiku? Let's hear it. Do you think it will get him ahead of the race as far as ADC is concerned and improve his visibility as far as Nigerians? Or is it just a Washington matter and millions that, may not necessarily impact? As our first story this afternoon, I'd like to get your thoughts on it. Let's talk 0809 597 4869 and on WhatsApp 0809 993-0137. You can also send a voice note. We'd like to get your thoughts on it, but keep it short and simple. Good afternoon.
Hello, Somi. Good afternoon.
Welcome.
My name is Victor, Airport Road.
Welcome, Victor.
Atiku will continue spending his money. Going to America now will not yield him any positive results. What in our advice would be in that camp is he just leave that party immediately and form his own party. With the Greenland movement, we back him up. Going to America to go and lobby. Has he finished helping his people in Adamawa? I don't understand it. He lost the opportunity during the Obasanjo era. He should forget about that position. Very nice celebration.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Kept it short and asked some pertinent questions too. Well, you don't know. We don't know what he's been doing in Adamawa State. How much has Adamawa been in the news recently compared to other states? So we don't know. Perhaps monies are going into that. It remains to be seen. But the question is, as far as the ADC and 2027, what are your thoughts? Will it sway anything? $1.2 million. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Welcome.
As expected and as usual. My name is Adiola.
Welcome, Mr. Adiola.
So, as expected, as usual, I think Andamania and prodigalism, he has been wasting money for many years, especially considering the dollars he wasted in 2022. I don't know whether Obi is part of this financial wastage. I don't know. I don't know that whether Obi has decided to. But if Obi will be part of this, I know his movement. Maybe people will not like this. So we don't know the game they are going to play now. For now, they keep everything under wraps. But one thing is sure, let him stop wasting the money because the people is running to in America. During the next midterm election, many of the Republican federal lovers will not win election because of the involvement of America in the Iran war. Some of them are not happy with Iran. If you think he will get the support of America, it's just wasting time. Let him go and use that money to develop Adamawa State or set a foundation and help the less privileged, the orphanage. These are the people who need money. Stop wasting money on politics. This will not pay because at the end of the day, you come to waste money and you will not gain anything. Thank you.
Mr. Adiola, question for you. Are you calling it waste because it is Atiku? If there was some other person who maybe you favored a little bit more, than an Atiku, would you be calling this money waste? I think it's interesting that people are using the term waste. Like I said, Atiku is not new to this. He has been in the running for presidential office for about the longest time, I think, even longer than the late President Muhammadu Buhari. So, and he's done lobbying over the years. So, perhaps it's worked for him in times past. Why do you think it's waste? I'm curious as to why that word is being used. Welcome.
Hi, sis.
Welcome, ma'am.
Happy Easter Monday, Mrs. Meza calling.
Same to you, ma'am. Very well, thank you.
How are the family members? Just to check on you quickly. Oh, it's not waste of money, and I think it's in order. Ask me why.
Why?
Yeah, sister. Still also, when American bomb a particular place in Nigeria, even though no casualty or so on and so forth. Before long, we heard that, should I say the president, lobbied an American firm And I ask myself, truly, there's a difference between bribery and motivation. This America that they have firm that will lobby the government on behalf of mostly African countries. What does it mean? Do we actually take our time to know what these companies do? So nobody says anything. Before you know, most of us, somebody like Mr. Selassie that was happy that he received his Christmas gift from Donald Trump and the rest. You did not hear much again about America trying to assist Nigeria in solving the issue of insecurity. Fast forward to Atiku. We are learning. If today Atiku also wants to lobby a firm in America, there's no big deal about it, ma. It's not about him as an individual. If you look inward, you will discover that in a way they are trying to suffocate opposition party. So I believe that what Atiku is trying to also do is for America to help this nascent democracy. When we switch from ministry rule to democracy, they call it that. Our democracy is still fragile. It's like a baby. In a way, if they want to do away with all political parties, America will say no. If they want to rig election, America will assist Nigeria to say no. So I think that's the direction it's going. Not about him winning the ticket or not, but it's about the democracy. So lobbying, since we allow the president to lobby and we did not see anything wrong with it, it's also good.
All right.
We're also learning.
All right.
Thank you. All right. Then.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. I need to get a quick word out. I'll be back to pick up the conversation. Stay with us.
My friend, we are textile. Look that you're selling.
Audio
Yeah, happy Easter to you. Yes, my name is Obedient Elder Comrade Tony, calling from Abuja.
Okay.
Yes, I wish all listeners happy Easter celebrations. Now, on the topic, article, I think Mrs. Omeza is partially on point. You know, why do I say so? Article that I knew article way back in 1993 when he contested presidential election alongside late MKO Abiola. It was way back 1993. And the man seems not to be relenting. And he knows full well that this time around, the presidential slot is zoned to the south. Anyway, well, I don't really know the motive of his going to pay $1.something million US to an American lobbyist. Perhaps, in a few days' time, we in ADC will not get to actually know the reason why. Because as at the last count, the ADC elders have actually settled that the presidential ticket is zoned to the south, especially with the coming on board of Musa Kwankwaso. You know, so I think Atiku should just try to cooperate with the leaders of the party to ensure that all hands are on deck to flush APC and President Tinubu out of power come next year. So I think Atiku should actually try to subpoena and back off Peter Obi, who is the popular candidate of all Nigerians, to clinch the presidency.
In your opinion,
so
not all Nigerians.
For it, yes.
You can't speak for all Nigerians. When you say he is for all Nigerians, no, he's not.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Lady Somi.
Yes, sir.
Do you know that of all the presidential candidates, living and dead, you know that Peter Obi remains the only credible, corrupt-free candidate of all times in the history of this country.
Even if that is true, sir, even if that is true, that's a big if, it doesn't mean that he is the one chosen by all Nigerians. I just wanted to just put that clause in because you said that. But, I mean, your thoughts are clear. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right, then. Okay. You were saying you don't know why, and I shared the scope of the deal, what the lobbying firm is supposed to do. I'll get back to it in a little bit. But just to say that, what's it called now? Okay. Just to say that, there is a scope according to the document signed and what the lobbying firm is supposed to do. If he goes ahead to do anything else, well, again, that would be left for the leadership of the ADC to sort out. But, one of the key things there is to advance an understanding of his leadership vision. So, yeah, make of that what you will. Good afternoon. Hello? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, seems to be a network thing. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Somi.
Welcome.
My name is Mr. Dan, calling from Newcastle.
Go ahead, Mr. Dan.
Yeah, I think I concur with the last caller. If I let us see this, Somi, wait for Nigeria, whether Peter will be for Nigeria or not. The truth is that let him get the ticket, whether Nigeria will vote for him or not. But I can assure you that some of us who will also, mingle with other Nigerians as, in grassroots, we know that we are tired of this regime. And so, leave us. Let us see what we do about Peter Obi. But for Atiku should not be a spoiler. He's an elder statesman. But I want to suggest this. Atiku is still young. Since Peter Obi agreed that, okay, he can do 4 years, then let the Northerner come. Then it's not between, let him go for that 4 years. Then it's not between the fight between Kwankwaso and Atiku. Atiku can contest even at the age of 90. So what is the big deal? So let him be patient. Then let's see how we will flush out this regime. Because Nigeria are dying. Not only hunger, but look at, everywhere insurgency, killing. And you expect us that we are all Nigerians, so me, are voting for Peter Obi.
You cannot speak for the majority of Nigerians. Please, let's not do this. Please, especially not today. Please, I didn't come here to be getting worked up. Let's not do this. You're very well entitled to your opinion, but there's still a number of listeners who are listening in and callers who will call in who will not vote for him. So when you say all, it's the generalizations that we don't usually accept here on the station. I mean, by all means, do what you want to do. Nobody's stopping you. But when you say all, that's an unfair generalization because you don't have the numbers. You can't say that, all right? Good afternoon, Somi. This is Leo from Gwarinpa. This kind of lobbying is not new in Nigeria. Remember that in 2014, Tinubu and APC paid an American lobbying firm to launder the image of Buhari, their then candidate. We all know how much that influenced the 2015 election. Well, I don't know. If you have any information that you can provide me on that, please, by all means, do let me know. That's why I'm asking the question. Do you think that this Atiku's lobbying deal, dear God, is going to have that kind of impact? If you think it will, by all means, tell me. Then let's hear from Ima in Abuja. Ima says, Somi, good afternoon. Is Atiku saying, come what may, he will get ADC's ticket? If he's not confident, he would not spend such a huge amount. The question then is, will there be free and fair primary for ADC's presidential candidate? I pity Peter Obi, Kwankwaso and the likes. It appears they have bamboozled him to leave Labour Party to achieve their objectives. God help this country. And then this one here says, greetings, Somi. It is a real waste of money by Atiku. I thought he would step aside, allow Obi and Kwankwaso to give Tinubu a run for his money. This move confirms that ADC will soon be singing I don't know what this word is. It looks like it's in another language. We all know what happened after he made PDP renege on their gentleman agreement of allowing the South to take the presidency in 2023. Just to provide a little more context on Atiku and his lobbying history before we move on to the next story. Yes, he is indeed not new to lobbying. He has a long and costly relationship with American lobbyists. He's had this relationship spanning 2 decades. In September 2022, he engaged a U.S.-based non-profit, the Public Policy Advocacy and Research Council for Lobbying, Public Relations and Campaign Messaging. The group reported no direct payment but indicated it expected exclusive interviews as compensation. Early in 2019, the law firm Thane and Delval PLLC disclosed receiving $30,000 for advocacy services in support of Atiku's presidential campaign. Between 2018 and 2019, he also contracted services to secure a U.S. visa and arrange political engagements, including a $50,000 deal with Ambassador Sada Kamba and Holland and Knight LLP. U.S. authorities later determined that some aspects of that engagement qualified as political activities under FARA, which is the body that has made it available for us to have this information that we're talking about today. And in 2018, filings showed a proposed $16.5 million agreement between Kamba and Legacy Logistics LLC aimed at supporting Atiku's campaign strategy and international profile, although the extent of the implementation remained unclear. There have also been about $150,000 proposed arrangement in 2018, which was later reported unsuccessful, and engagements in 2021 with U.S. political advisors to support visa applications and outreach to government officials alongside small political donations routed through intermediaries. And some of his early engagements date back to 2005. So indeed, this is not new to him, and this is not the most that he has spent, going by the 16.5. Going by the $16.5 million agreement between Kamba and Legacy Logistics back in 2018. But we will shift slightly from this one. I think I'll just take this voice note and then we'll move to the next story.
Good afternoon, Somi.
Good afternoon.
This is Jimo Haruna, recording from Abuja here. I think Atiku, if assuming what we are hearing is true, Atiku have all the rights to do whatever he likes with his own money, to lobby, in order to have a gain at the end of the day. To order any other candidate that so wish or that have intention of contesting under ADC can also do the same thing. So ADC is going to be thrown open to everybody. I want to correct one impression. There is never a thing any elders of APC down for zoning. They have no zoning anywhere. Nobody should mislead. Nobody should mislead anybody. The listener. We've not get to that stage of zoning or whatever. We're trying to settle everything internally. Nobody should override the politics in ADC. So we're trying to resolve what the present government or APC government is trying to put ADC through. So until then, when everything is open, they will now. There is no. I think I think have not been jailed for corruption. It's all people. Media trying or whatever, just like Erufai, we all know it's a media trying. So everybody is free to contest. So please, I beg each and everybody to just maintain peace so that ADC will not become a battlefield for the members, the supporters, please.
Interesting. So someone called earlier on to say they've agreed on one thing. Another ADC member, I believe he is an ADC member, Chimo, just finished with his voice note now saying a different thing within the ADC. So perhaps, while the conversation around the lobbying and all of that is going on, there is that uphill battle, first of all, that they need to clear, which is the issue of the de-recognizing of ADC in the INEC register. But whichever way, lots of work to be done. and it remains to be seen how the ADC is going to emerge from this one. First of all, with the derecognizing, and then secondly, we'll see, hopefully they can meet the timeline in terms of, reconciling everything based on the court judgments that are coming out and all of that, and they can meet up with the timeline to even have a primary. Perhaps that's when we will know if really and truly Atiku's money is going to make any kind of difference at all. All right, let's move on to the next story this afternoon very, very quickly. Now, we know that, like I said earlier when I started the show, it wasn't really the best of Easter celebrations for a lot of people. As far back as Palm Sunday, communities were already getting hit. Now, the one thing that I really, really, really am most uncomfortable with when it comes to, reporting insecurity in the country is the case of back and forth that comes about when you see, one authority reporting one thing and another authority reporting another. And then we are now left trying to balance it out or find the middle ground to say, okay, this is what is going on. Well, these recent attacks over the weekend are not left out from this because the reports are coming in and there are counter reports as well. First of all, just to say, and this is how The Guardian put it, and I couldn't have put it any better than this, if condemnations can stop incessant killings and attacks in the country, then the lamentations and the pledge of action that trailed Palm Sunday's attack in Plateau State last week will have prevented what some people are now tagging a bloody Easter that was unleashed in communities in Kaduna, Benue, and Borno State. Christian faithfuls in Kaduna, Benue, and Borno States yesterday. This not leaving out the attacks that happened in Plateau State and in Katsina as well. But yes, that was a story over the weekend. 17 people reportedly killed in an attack on Mbalom in Gwe East local government area of Benue State in the latest violence to hit the state's rural areas. That attack occurred on Sunday on a day that they were supposed to be celebrating Easter. And you had residents narrating how the attack went down, and it is nothing to write home about. But again, as always, same MO, not really anything different from what we've seen before. Witness accounts indicate that the attacker struck without warning, forcing families to flee into the bush as gunshots rang out throughout the community. So that indeed happened, and at some points, there were reports coming out from other states as well about other attacks. Now, let's look at what happened in Kaduna State. Yeah, let's look at what happened in Kaduna State. Members of a community were kidnapped during Easter service, and reports came out at first. I remember when I was researching this story, and I saw certain reports about the response by security operatives, and I was quite happy, to be honest. Reports about some numbers of people being rescued, or rather, rescued from the kidnappers, and they didn't get away with as much damage as they would have done. But now we are seeing reports to the contrary, stating that there were no victims rescued. So let's look at what Daily Trust had on this report. It was the Evangelical Church Winning All in Arikon community in Kachia local government area of Kaduna State that was invaded, and 5 persons were killed and worshippers were abducted. The incident had generated reactions amid the widespread insecurity in the country, and the Nigerian army had issued a statement narrating how its troops purportedly compelled the terrorists to abandon dozens of abducted worshippers. In a statement, the army said troops who responded to the distress call engaged the attackers in a fierce gun battle, and the pressure mounted by the advancing troops forced the terrorists to abandon 31 of the kidnapped hostages, adding that one of the rescued victims sustained injuries and is currently receiving medical attention. But today, the Kuturumi Unity Development Association issued a counter statement debunking what the army said. The statement was signed by Dr. J.D. Ariko, president of the Kuturumi Unity Development Association, and Honorable Manasseh Samuel, publicity secretary. The association said kidnappers have contacted families and representatives of the victims who are in captivity, and that none of the kidnapped worshippers was rescued. Instead, they are trying to get them to rally around and pay the ransom. The representative said, and I quote, "We wish to categorically state that this claim is entirely false." That is the claim that the Nigerian army successfully rescued 31 persons who were abducted by bandits in Ariko, Kachia local government area of Kaduna State. The community members writing said it does not reflect the current situation. Contrary to reports being circulated, all the abducted persons are still in captivity with their abductors. The families and representatives of the victims remain in contact with the bandits who have confirmed the safe arrival of the victims at their camp, and this clearly invalidates any claim of a successful rescue operation. They said, and I continue, "While we recognize and appreciate the efforts of security agencies in tackling insecurity across the country, it is deeply troubling that such inaccurate information is being disseminated to the public. False reports of this nature can create unnecessary confusion, give families false hope, and undermine public trust in official communications." And they said they call on the Nigerian army and all relevant authorities to ensure that only verified and factual information is released to the public, especially on sensitive matters involving human lives. I would have thought that it would be the reverse that would be the case, that we would be having the Nigerian army with the verified information. But here are members of the community saying that what they said in terms of the rescue operation is not accurate, which brings us to the question, who then did the Nigerian army rescue? I know, in fact, I would not believe that the Nigerian army will put out information that is so utterly false. And the number is staggering. 31 is a lot of people. So who did they rescue? I want to believe that they actually rescued 31 people. But the community members put out an entire list of the people who were, the list that they put out is a list of those killed during the attack, and also they have a list of people abducted as well. But I'm looking at I'm looking at the list. Let me just run through very quickly. Garba Tanko alongside his wife and one of their daughters. That's 3 people. Rachel Garba, as well as... Okay, sorry, let me take that again. Garba Tanko, those abducted. Garba Tanko alongside his wife and one of their daughters, Rachel Garba, as well as a grandchild, Moses Yakubu. So that is husband, wife, daughter, grandchild. That's 4 people. Then you also have Rahab Usman and his daughter, Victoria Rahab, Sunday Ayuba, Dantani Alhaji alongside his wife, Mrs. Mary Dantani, including 3 daughters, all identified with their names among those kidnapped. I'm having a list of names here that is not up to 30. Except this is not the complete list. Put out by the community. When you put that side by side with the information of the Nigerian army saying they rescued as many as 31 people, then something needs to give. Like perhaps there should be some sort of meeting between the Nigerian army, the security operatives, and members of the community, because the numbers that we are seeing here and the numbers put forward, it's not adding up. But I think this is one of the even more frustrating things as far as it has to do with insecurity in this country, is that we can't even get information that we say, okay, this is it and this is what we are working with, because you're hearing one side with one thing and another side with another thing. So, I mean, as far as this community is concerned, I know that they are hurting. It cannot be easy. Some people killed, some people kidnapped. But please, with the security operatives, the president, the governor, everybody involved, can we just get to a point where we are working with information and everybody has the information and they are working with it? Not that one side is putting out one, another side is putting out one. Because you have to think about what that does in terms of the attempts to, first of all, rescue these people. You know, they're saying, 31 people. So these other people, are they not part of the people kidnapped? Or is this a separate group? It's all over the place. So as far as Kaduna State is concerned, this information worrisome. You also had something similar happening, I think it was in Benue State. Amnesty International had to come out faulting the authorities, but in this instance, it was that they were not doing enough to protect the people of the state. Remember, Benue State had 17 people killed in the attack in Mbalom community in Gwe East local government area of the state, and Amnesty International was blaming Nigerian authorities for failing to protect the residents from recurring violence. In their own statement, they said, families are still searching for those missing since the attack, and you will have over 500,000 people displaced by similar attacks across Benue State, many of whom now live in overcrowded camps with limited access to water, food, healthcare, and sanitation. So, Benue State in the spotlight, Plateau State in the spotlight. Earlier on this afternoon, more reports about clashes, this time around between farmer and herder communities, all of that going on. Katsina State with its own. And it's like, when can we just catch a break? When can we just resume on a Monday and not have to talk about, like, can we get a lighter-hearted security? That's what I was complaining to SWAT. I'm like, I looked at the stories and I'm like, here we go again. So all of these states, going through Easter in the worst possible ways. And there's been a response from the federal government, or should I say in this case now, let me just call it as it is, the Minister of Information saying that security remains our president's top agenda. That is his report. He says, there have been meetings going on, there have been visits from presidents of neighboring countries, all of that, to deal with the rate of insecurity in our country. The Chadian president, Muhammad Idris Deby, visited, according to him, to find a lasting solution to the crisis alongside our president, who had a working Easter, so that going on. Interestingly, when you look at it from the perspective of the Chadian president's visit, what it means is perhaps the conversations are being had around security along the borders, which is not bad. You're looking at cooperation with other countries within the Sahel, which is not bad. And that can be happening, yes, very much so. But you're thinking about the farmer in Benue or a villager in Katsina who is facing immediate localized banditry and dealing with land disputes and what is being done to protect him as well. So we're having a lot of rhetoric being put out when it comes to dealing with insecurity in the country. I mean, the president was speaking in Plateau and talking about how the symbol on his cap was going to break the shackles, so a lot of rhetoric's going on, but right after those statements are being made, we're back to where we were before. So, I mean, if really and truly, according to the Minister of Information, security is top of the president's agenda, we're in the second quarter of this year. We would like to see the numbers drop. We would like to see decisive action being taken. Whichever mode that they choose to go, kinetic, non-kinetic, the most important thing is that this number should drop. The incidents should reduce, if not be cut off completely. And we really want to see that the insecurity being top of his agenda is reflected in our local communities. That bandits should stop operating unhindered for hours in places like Katsina. Think about all the places that we've had to deal with it over this weekend. We want to see this stop, and that's the most important thing. It's not the it's not the statements, it's not the rhetoric that is being put out. It is an end to this. Let's get back to the phone lines in case you want to jump in on this one and get your thoughts on it as well. Very quickly, before we move on to the final story. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Madam Somi.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, ma, this is Dabang Bushi.
All right.
Hey, Olagbara. You see, when General Musa was appointed as the Minister of Defense, people are saying, yes, Messiah, right. The Messiah come here, there, that's going to be by and now, what do we say now? What? It's even worse. People will go to church. The next thing that will happen is bandits will come and kill them and carry small children, the elderly, middle, with food. We tighten them, no food to them, no water. no place to that it, nothing, not security. What they sleep with is gone every day, threatening them to kill them. The same thing, Benue, many numbers of people. That is how it's happening everywhere today. Do we still have a good leader in Nigeria that cannot protect us? Mr. President is there. All the security sector, they are there. Everybody, police, army, navy, air force, civil defense, DSS, and somebody will issue a statement, false statement, and nothing will happen to the person. If I talk anyhow here now, they will trace me. At the end of the day, nothing will happen. They did not rescue anybody. They say they rescue, and nothing will happen. No, human beings are missing in Nigeria every day. People's life has been dispersed to untimely grave on daily basis, and nothing is happening. Look at the one that happened which day that when they just people, human being, every present day in Nigeria, and we still have a credible leader. No way, me I not believe. We never, we in fact, it's terrible. It's terrible. People are missing every day. And the neighboring country, they will lock up our people and maltreat them and do many things, and nothing will happen. They will kill them, jail them. Kai. From the hand of this week that we have in Nigeria, honestly, our leaders, Kai, it's terrible. Thank you.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Welcome.
Yeah, my name is EJ. Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, Atiku lobby American firm for what? To become a president of Nigeria. See, I always say this, nobody knows how the Nigerian politicians are taking us into. Honestly, since 2015, Atiku, Tinubu, Amechi, Kwankwaso, all of them gang up and lobby American firm, lobby America under Obama. And they carry Abuja to London, Chatham House, discussing affairs of Nigeria. See, before you collect power from Tinubu now, what all of them are thinking is that we must go into the deep sea, go to the gates of heaven, the hell. That's all of them are thinking. You understand? They started it with the Tinubu.
All right, your network is a bit problematic. We got about as much as we could hear from you. I'll just take a few messages and then we'll take the news at the top of the hour and come back and continue. Nema from Asokoro says, unfortunately, Atiku never seems to learn. If he has such an amount, why can't he devote it into philanthropy? So there are no poor people in Nigeria or in his hometown that can benefit from such humongous amounts instead of dashing out to foreigners to chop? Okay. All right. I'm going to leave you a message at that, Neme. Good afternoon, Somi. I'm Nemeka from Karamu. Happy Easter to you and all your listeners. I hope tomorrow you people in the media will not blame any Nigerian who doesn't trust. Okay. All right. Okay. Nemeka from Karamu. Thank you for your message. Let's see. Do I have time for the voice note? I do. Let's play this and we'll take the news at the top of the hour.
Hello, Sumi. How are you? Good afternoon. I hope you're good. Happy Easter. Speaking about Atugu is on point. He has every legal right to contest and to clean up his record. He has every legal right to contest as a president. So I see no reason why every Nigerian should be there. As long as he is concerned, he has his supporters. So he has a very legal right to clean up his record. And to take it to that extent of going to Washington law firm to clean up his record, I don't see anything wrong about that. $1 million is not a big money, so it's small money. He has done a lot in where he come from, Adamawa. So he has my support. Have a nice day. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you very much. We've got the news at the top of the hour. We'll come back, take more of your thoughts after that, as well as our final story. Stay with us.
On your number one talk station.
You get a daily dose of news trends.
Crisis averted in aviation sector after aggrieved unions suspend strike.
Intense conversation.
She's among the ICPC board members. Oh. What has she experienced in life? 20 years with a girl. She is there because she has level.
Sports and news to keep you updated all day and every day.
Join the conversation on your number one talk station.
95.1 Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. Here on Info, we give you a great blend of all. Local
talked about, some of the reasons given as to why he did that. And we wait to see what the implications of that are going to be. And then we also looked at the security roundup from this weekend and the fact that despite the word put out by the Nigerian military concerning about 31 people rescued, there has been a rebuttal, if you will, from members of the community stating that none of the kidnapped victims were rescued. 31 victims 31 victims is what the claim put out, or was the claim about that were rescued, and the members of the community are saying no such thing happened, and questions remain. Who then did the Nigerian military rescue, and why is the community giving other information? Again, I've said, even looking at the numbers from the community, the people kidnapped, according to their list, are not up to 30. So where is this other information coming from? We'll get back to you in a little bit, but let me just put out the last story so that we'll take responses on all of them all the way up until 1:30. The European Union, along with the federal government and the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, has called for urgent action to end food waste and promote sustainable consumption and production. And they're doing this because Nigeria has been named Africa's top food waster, with as much as 38 million tons of food lost. This was disclosed in a statement by the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS today, Monday. They were speaking at the commemoration of this year's International Zero Waste Day with the theme Food Waste Reduction, Minimization and Valorization. And speaking on that, the shocking figure of 38 million tons of food every year going to waste was put out there. You noted that globally, that's the EU delegation, Visimos Vergos, Deputy Ambassador of the EU delegation to Nigeria and ECOWAS, was speaking, and he noted that globally in 2022 alone, nearly 1 billion tons of food, which is almost 1/5 of all food available to consumers, was wasted. This is not just a loss of food, he said. It is a squandering of precious resources, a missed opportunity to combat hunger, and a direct threat to our planet's health. The deputy further noted that food loss and wastage are major drivers of environmental degradation, contributing up to 10% of global greenhouse gas emissions, which is nearly 5 times the emission of the entire aviation sector, and accounting for as much as 40% of global methane emissions. So Nigeria contributing to this with that staggering amount of 38 million tons. We're top of their radar. And, speaking about the matter, it says Nigeria is not waiting for someone else to solve its problem. It is building a system to solve it from within. And so they are working on this, but the amount is staggering. There are some lessons that they shared from their experience to help Nigeria reduce food wastage and boost food security. One of them being to invest in rural roads, storage, and cold chains. All of this supposed to fix the last mile beyond the farm. Secondly, the deputy speaking urged the country to promote the processing of fresh produce into value-added products like tomato paste and cassava flour by linking smallholder farmers to processors and markets. And lastly, he called on the government to embed zero-waste recycling and resource saving into the school curriculum from the primary level to build a sustainable culture in the next generation. All of this they're putting forward to Nigeria as a way of curbing its food waste. The EU said that they are ready to partner with Nigeria, whether through funding, technical cooperation, or through genuine solidarity. But what is this? 38 million tons lost in terms of food. We are top of Africa's list of food wasters. This is in a country where people are still going hungry. This is in a country where people cannot afford food to buy. This is in a country where insecurity is, of course, one of the major contributors in terms of what is happening on the farms with clashes and what have you, harvests People are unable to harvest. People are unable to transport because of high costs. All of this going on, and we're steady wasting 38 million tons of food. Let's get back to the phone line, 0809 597 4869. On WhatsApp, 0809 993 0137. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Auntie Somi. How are you doing?
I'm good, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Gwaza Max.
Gwaza Max, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank God.
Okay.
Happy Easter.
Same to you.
Yeah, it's really, really, really disheartening that Nigeria, after how many years of independence? Over 50 years of independence, right? Over 60 years of independence, rather. Nigeria is still battling with, basic sustainable development indices. Our population is growing fast. So if we are not looking at ways of preserving our foods and then take up the responsibility of feeding the population that we are having at hand, then there is no way we can fix the problem of insecurity and terrorism. Because all these are indices of a failed state. The failures of the government that has compounded, to keep us in this position. Look at globally, Nigeria is rated in that regard as being the first.
In Africa, actually, not globally, yes.
Yeah, in Africa. Then it's really, really disturbing. Now, I would say that if actually the United Nations, the European Union wants to help Nigeria in, look at some other ways of curbing in Africa or in Nigeria to be specific, European Union should also look at the aspect of insecurity and how to help Nigeria overcome the menace. Because we are known to be a country that bases our agriculture on subsistence. That is subsistence agricultural farming, whereby the peasants farm for themselves. There is no proper way of, food storage, and, we source this food ourselves without the consent of the government. The only challenge we are having that it looks as we are hungry now is because of the insecurity. So if they have any help to render, then they should also look at that aspect of insecurity, how it should be addressed. And they should be serious with it so that we go back to our, to our basic agricultural activities and feed our population. Now, it's a concern because you look at it that all that we are doing now, if we don't fix lights, power, if we don't fix power, there is no way we can meet up with the expectation of how to preserve these foods. Let me end it here so that others will contribute.
Thank you very much, Gwaza Max. Thank you. Indeed, some very salient point that you raised there, especially on the matter of power. Let's hear from others. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Please go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, CJ is my name, calling back. As I was saying, before my line went off, see, it's not lobbying cannot solve these problems to me. You understand? During Buhari, we are we have a Abuja house in London. How did we suffer it? 6 months spent in London. Now with Paris, Abuja and Paris. Now they are trying to shift our Abuja now in Washington. What are they telling us? Please, there's a focus on economic in Nigeria. This thing started in 2015 when they handed Nigeria over to London. It's not good as we
handed Nigeria over to London. I'm confused. What are you talking about?
We have Abuja house in London. We have Chatham house in London. Anything about economy, education, power, anything, they discuss it in London. So now, what is the result now? What is the result? How the standards of power in Nigeria now? What is the standard of education, economy? in Nigeria now. So now they are thinking that before you get power, before you climb the mountain of leadership in Nigeria, you must go into the deep sea or into the gate of hell, which is not all go well for Nigeria. It's not good. It's not good. I don't think Robbie carry $1.2 million to. This money is Nigerian money.
Is it really? How is Atiku's money Nigeria's money? And the statement about handing Nigeria over to London is so inaccurate. I mean, if it's by the existence of Chatham House, it really doesn't track. Chatham House has been in existence since 1920, except you're saying that because they have conversations there about Nigeria and Nigerians go there to have conversations, it means that because of that they've handed them over. That's not so incorrect. So I mean, if your concern is about the lobbying, I hear you. It is Atiku's money. It's not Nigeria's money, at least not that we know of. But in terms of whether it's going to translate to anything, that is what remains to be seen. We'll leave it at that for you, CJ. Thank you so much. On the incessant killings and ransacking of communities, especially in Benue and Plateau State, by marauding killer herdsmen who have taken over the Middle Belt region to displace existing communities in the region, forcing them to IDPs, the fact still remains that the federal government and the Nigerian media especially cannot continue with this deceptive narrative of herder-farmer clashes, which is so insulting to our sensibilities. Neme is saying the people of both Benue and Plateau State should stop shooting themselves in the foot in the election of incompetent politicians as governors. All right, let's go back to the lines. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Somi.
Welcome.
Maxman calling from Apple.
Welcome, Maxman. Go ahead.
Thank you. When we're talking about insecurity, Shai Gumi came out to say that government knows every Boko Haram that is in this country, every bandit that is in this country, and they are aware about. What did they do? They only dismissed that statement. Why didn't they, if it is true that they did not know, now they know somebody who's dealing with them, why didn't they approach him to lead them to where they are hiding? Nothing was done. Every day they keep coming to make promise, we will do this, we will do that. Security of this country is our number one priority. And every day people are being kidnapped, people are being killed. In fact, maybe the number of people being killed in Nigeria is more than the number of chicken that Nigerians are consuming in a day. And we call that we call that a country, that we have a security agency. We are just deceiving ourselves. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Somi. Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Thank you. Happy Easter Monday.
Same to you, sir.
Yeah, so my name is Dayo from SHL. Sorry.
Go ahead, sir.
Mine is about this insecurity.
Okay.
Benue State, especially Benue State. You know, I'm concerned because I'm from there and I have contacts there, even I'm here. You know, the issue of, in Benue, there's nothing like bandits. It's Fulani headsmen with their cows. They've taken over these places, these local governments. They stay in these places for years. For me, they've been living there. They will come out, they hang their AK-47, come out, attack, and go back to these houses. They are not hearing. Even yesterday, for me, I called somebody I met in 2020 that they've moved out of their ancestral home and they are living at Ajiko because of this headsmen. When we were growing up in those years, the early 80s, these headsmen will come with their cattle. When it's dry season, they will stay, they will graze. Immediately rain drops, so maybe these headsmen will go back. Nobody will push them, nobody will pursue them. But now these people have come back to occupy Benue. And when I asked this man yesterday, there are soldiers there. Last month the chief of army staff went and met with the governor of Benue State. And he said they sent a battalion to quell the local government. These soldiers are there. But the thing there is that they are asked not to kill anybody, but to send them away.
So what are they doing there? They're just...
That is there. So be anywhere you go, these soldiers are not asked to kill these people. So who is giving these soldiers this order? That is why we should investigate. These people will see you see these bandits, see terrorists, but the order is don't kill them, don't attack them. The soldiers are there. You understand? So that is the problem we have. Who is giving this order? The soldiers are there, but they cannot kill these people. These people come out, they attack and go back. And they stay, especially that called the local government. It's bad. It's very terrible. So the government should tell us what is happening with insecurity. We are just wasting out. Every day we talk on phone, we call, but the government know what they are doing with these people. I don't know whether they have PVCs to come and vote during elections. That is why they cannot touch them. Thank you, my sister. Have a nice day.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing. I can't imagine knowing that by your report there are security operatives in the area, but they're not authorized to act. Maybe we'll have to get someone from the governor's office to come and provide clarity on exactly what is going on in that state. Hello?
Hello, good evening.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Dr. Lajide calling from Wisconsin.
All right, good to have you here. Go ahead.
Let me start from the article lobbying in US. Madam Somi, our people should understand this, that politics requires a lot of money. Secondly, it seems that...
Can you turn down the volume of your device, sir?
Oh, sorry for that, please.
Thank you very much. And then proceed. Yep.
Thank you very much. Madam Somi, few weeks or months back, President Bola not even well. The entire media was involved. That why did you do that?
Okay. If you could call back and make sure that your device is off, completely off, so that we can hear you clearly. The feedback was way too much, and it was making it very difficult for us to understand you. So please do call back, and let's take this.
Hello, happy Easter, Madam Somi.
Same to you.
All Nigeria Info family. My name is Harry, doing this VM from Abuja. Talking about article paying a staggering amount of $1.something million to a lobbying firm to boost his reputation. That shows that Atiku want to be this person to fly the flag of ADC. So his game is to bring in people together, use them to boost his political credibility and party, and at the end buy delegates and probably fly the flag of that party. It's so painful, it's so disheartening, and sincerely speaking, if the contest will be between Atiku and Tinubu, I'm telling you, many Nigerians will not vote. Let him go and try his luck. Yes, that's the truth. And for the waste management, when it comes to negative things, Nigeria always top the positive all the hand. But the recommendation they gave, like building roads for rural areas to ensure fruits and all those items are not wasted, is a good one. So I say kudos to their recommendation. If they can implement it, it will go a long way to curb waste. Thank you so much for the privilege.
Dora, darling, thank you for buying me this beautiful 4 hours. Kept me cool for over